we call to the stage Luis Rita from CycleAI.
Okay, I think you can always hear me well. Hello, good morning, guys. My name is Luis Rita. I'm co-founder in CycleAI along with Miguel Pliteiro, and Codrin Bostan is the web developer of the startup. I'm a PhD student in Imperial. Miguel, he's a medical doctor in Santarém, and Codrin is our software developer that's working in London at the moment. Can you go for how should I switch for the next slide, or? Okay, so I wanted to start by telling you how it started, CycleAI. I had a master's project last year in road safety. Miguel had a bicycle accident as well last year. We joined forces and we started CycleAI. The main goal of CycleAI is to empower bicycle riders to fight for their own safety, and we are doing this through AI. And the importance of having more people cycling is both in an environmental and in a personal health perspective. By having more cyclists, this means that we are contributing for greener cities, and at the same time, we are contributing for more active lifestyles. Next slide. And the way that we are empowering bicycle riders is through two crowdsources. One, the first one, that it was before, this one. We ask bicycle riders to point in a map places they have passed by, they consider of high risk, and then we have a second crowdsource in our website as well. We show users two images, and we ask which one looks safer. And this is the data that we are getting to use in our AI model, our neural network, that this is our first product. And I want to make this very clear. We have two products. One is an AI model that, based in one image, is able to extract a safety score, and our second product is the one that I'm holding it right now. So based on the data that we got from our crowdsources, both from the hotspot map that you saw here and from the perception pool, we detect after that in the images that were in the second crowdsource, what are the objects in those images. We detect the structures in those images, and at the end of the day, as I said, we build the AI model, the neural network, that at this moment, it executes with 75% accuracy, and this means that 75%, 3 out of 4 dangerous images are correctly identified as dangerous. And it's very important to have the contribution of as many people as possible for our crowdsources, because this means that we can get people's perception of safety. And people's perception of safety might not be the same in Portugal, in Spain, or in any other country. And even between people, the perception of safety, and it's the perception that stops us from cycling on the streets, it's different. And this is why it's very important, the contribution that we had for over 5,000 people spread across many, many countries, as you can see in the slide. One consequence of this was because we built this AI model, on behind we managed to identify to quantify what are the risk factors that are on our roads that influence safety. And this was done for the first time. Nobody ever managed to tell exactly how important it is to have a cycle lane in the road, how important it is to have a sidewalk, how important are the rails, for example, of the electrics on the road. And we could tell exactly, this is exactly the factor that cyclists consider the safest, and the ones on the bottom are the ones that consider the unsafest. And this is what the AI model does, our first product. It receives one image, and it automatically extracts a safety score from that same image. The two on the left were considered unsafe. We can understand why. And the two on the right, they were considered the safest. But the scalability of the model, it's very much related because we use Google Street View images.
1 minute.
So this means that wherever Google Street View is available, we can execute our model. And this allowed us to create safety maps. We identified points of risk and safest points. And now what we are developing is an app that you say you want to go from one point to another, and it will tell you the shortest, the fastest, and the safest route. So this is our first product, and now I'm going to show you the second product, because images have limitations. We cannot consider dynamic factors. For example, a bicycle or a car just appearing from nothing on the roads. And this is the demonstration that we did in Aveiro. And this prototype that I have in my hand, it allows to consider to cover this limitation of the images, to account for dynamic factors. And this is absolutely crucial. And I want to make sure that we are here in Aveiro for two reasons, because we recognize how innovative the municipality is and the contribution that it has been given to startups to developing their products. But at the same time, we believe that bike sharing services are the easiest way to have more people cycling. And this is the main reason why we are here today. We were founded, as I said, last year. We launched the crowdsources this year. Our neural network, the product we presented for the first time in the demonstration day. And I want to thank you all, because it was a pleasure to participate here. And I'm open for any questions. Thank you very much.
Well, the same question as before. The role of 5G or communications in your product, and in particular in that live classification that you did in Aveiro. Was that done local in the bicycle, or is it done in the cloud?
So that is an absolutely important point that I usually always cover. And I wanted, in cars, it's much easier to have this real-time video processing, because we can just put heavy hardware in those cars because they are already heavy and bulk, and they have space for those very powerful hardware. But in the case of the bikes, they are slim and lightweight, so we don't have any option at all to process video in a bike, because it increases too much the prices, and it's too big, the hardware that's required. So what we did was, the video is recorded with our prototype, it's processed on the cloud, and here the 5G is absolutely important too, because of the low latency and the high speeds that it provides to us. And at the same time, having many of those objects connected simultaneously is an absolutely important factor. So what we did is that we record here, we send it to the cloud, we run the object detection. You see those squares detecting the risk factors on the road, and then the information comes back again to the bicycle, and it gives an alert to the user, for example, a sound or a light here on the top, depending not only what's happening in front, but also what's happening especially on the back that the user cannot see.
I have a small question. What would be the type of further development activities that you would consider with a telecom provider for 5G and a public space manager like a municipality for your future work?
So here it's very important to assure privacy. What we want is to know exactly what's around the user, detecting the risk factors, but not saving the video, to make sure that there is no privacy issues in the middle. And we developed this box that you can see in front of me as a modular prototype, something that right now we place in the bike, and that you just start recording and start receiving feedback. But at the end of the day, what we want is to somehow going in the direction of assisted driving. Not autonomous driving like there has been done in the side of the cars, for example, because we don't think that's achievable for two-wheel vehicles, much because of the loss of balance when it stops. But we want to go in that direction, and the next step will be to integrate what I have in my hand in a bicycle itself. And in this case, I cannot think about, especially in this context, about the best example than the Bugas from Aveiro. And Simon was asking me about what's the role of the telecommunications company here. It's absolutely crucial. We need 5G to this. And the way that we are planning to make users pay for our service, for example, and of course in cooperation with the telecommunications company, would be by time. If the travel takes 10 minutes, then in that case we would charge per minute, for example. So telecommunications company have a crucial part because we need 5G. The municipality, crucial part as well, because bike sharing services, we believe that's the next step. And we are open to start working as soon as possible, because at the end of the day, we don't want our impact to be limited to Portugal, but we want to start by Portugal, because this is a Portuguese startup, and it makes total sense for us having first a local impact, and then, if successful, scale it abroad.
Okay, thank you very much.